Let's talk about a critical skill needed in business everywhere in the world, in every industry. Some people might say it's management, and others might say it's project management, but those are not the critical skills across the board that everyone needs. And there's one skill. You know what it is? It's problem solving. Problem solving is a key skill that is needed in every aspect of business, every walk of life. Whether you're a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, a musician, a technician, you got to be able to solve problems. And that's why today I'm bringing you the best from the world of problem solving. I'm bringing you a framework that is going to help you solve problems with anyone, any team, anywhere in the world at any time on the timeline of your career. So let's jump in to what I call the DIGCIV. It's based on my book, DIGCIV, which is the framework. And this framework is going to help you if you're working with people and people are always coming to you with problems and saying, I don't know how to solve the problem. You are going to be able to teach them how to solve problems. It's like a hungry man coming to beg you for food. Why not just show him how to fish? This is me teaching you how to teach others how to fish, how to solve problems. Now, problems are not a happy thing that happens. It's not a happy medium. It is an unpleasant occurrence that needs a solution, sometimes quickly. And the first thing you want to do when you have a problem in the DIGCIV approach is the letter D for define. The define stage is so important that if you don't do a good job defining the problem, you could have a half-baked problem to solve, which will result in the same symptoms and the same heartache about that problem that hasn't been properly defined. Because some people set out to solve a problem without really knowing what the problem is. Let me give you a typical idea. So on the professional exams I teach, there's a question that goes like this. You are a project manager on a project. Your project is late. What should you do? A, add more resources to the project. B, run certain tasks in parallel. Those are all red herrings. The best answer is understand the problem. So defining the problem comes first. You got to do a very good job of defining the problem. And sometimes when you're defining the problem, you got to break it down into smaller pieces. You also got to get the right people in the room to define the problem, because if you're trying to define the problem all on your own, you've got your perception of the problem, but guess what? The end user has a totally different perception. The technical team has a totally different perception. You get what I'm saying? So you need to have the right people in the room when you're defining the problem. How do you define a problem sensibly with a team? You allow the team members to brainwrite, like bring in pre-written ideas about what they think the problem is. You don't want to take all the time coming up with the ideas in the session, even though there's a place for that. But when you really want to do things quick, ask everyone to bring in their ideas. What's your perception? I talk about this in the book, okay? This book is everywhere books are sold. You can find this on Amazon. And in this aspect, I tell people, allow those on your team to think before coming in, not to do all their thinking in the session. But when they come in the session, what they are going to do is collaborative thinking. Then the facilitator, which might be you, brings all the ideas and understands the synergy of the team to bounce the ideas and the perspectives of the problems. So you got to break the problem down into smaller pieces. You also may need to have data ready, because in order for you to properly define a problem, you need data. Otherwise, you're freewheeling and speculating. So get the data you need and effectively define, what is this causing? Why is this a problem? Why is it a problem to the end user? Why is it a problem to us? Why is it a user problem? Why is it a customer problem? Why is it a problem to whoever is in the loop? That's the D in the DIGCIV, right? The I is identify the root cause. How do you identify the root cause? One of the best ways to do this is my favorite. I'll show you here in a second. One of the best ways to do this is to use something that we call a fishbone diagram. A fishbone diagram. A fishbone diagram helps you zero in on what the causes are for the problem. And it's used so much in business that if you don't know what a fishbone diagram is, I absolutely need you to know it now. So let's jump into the slide where I show you a fishbone diagram. It is also known as an Ishikawa diagram. So let's go there real quick. And another name you will hear this being called, in addition to an Ishikawa, you hear it being called a YY diagram. Here we go. Let's blow it up a bit. All right, so fishbone diagram, also known as an Ishikawa or cause and effect diagram, is a tool used to visually identify and organize possible causes of a specific problem or effect. By structuring causes into major categories, typically related to people, processes, and technology, it helps teams systematically investigate and pinpoint the root cause. That's the identification we're talking about, the root causes of an issue. And this is used a whole lot in the business space. You know, I'm sure you've probably seen it in a different world, maybe just not call this. So here's an example of an Ishikawa. There's a decline in customer satisfaction. Now, the way I do this, when I am working with a team, I have a big Ishikawa. It might be on a whiteboard, might be hand-drawn, but all these bullets are Post-it notes that people are bringing to the table as reasons for the problem. But you see, it is done very intentionally by breaking these down into manpower, sources, materials, methods, machines, measurements, or Mother Nature. And that is just one of the ways that you can break all this stuff down. In the course, we go into more details. If you go to leadershipstreet.com, you can actually take the full course, the whole 4 hours with my buddy Roy and I. But the summary is you got to identify the root cause. I teach you how to do this in the course. Leadershipstreet.com, find the PM360 link. And when you get in, you'll be able to go through the DIGCIV course, about 218 minutes. G is for generate alternatives. Oh my gosh, there's so many ways you can generate alternatives. And I go through them in the book. But one of the ways you can generate alternatives is just good old brainstorming, right? Another way is using Ed DeBono's 6 thinking hats. Right. Another way you can do this is by using a model. I talk about the model here called the empire model. There's so many ways we can identify and then pivot to generate, alternatives. So we have defined a problem, identify the root cause, generate alternatives, put on that thinking cap, right? And then when you've generated these alternatives with your team, the C stands for choose. You got to choose the best alternative. Now, this 274-page book has got so much content about problem solving that it will be so helpful to anyone who has a team that is inept at solving problems. If you have a team that is all over the place when it comes to their problem solving, this is going to help them. Even what I'm doing right now is going to help them. But this is going to build on what I'm doing right now, right? So generate alternatives. C stands for choose the best alternative. I stands for implement the alternative that you have deemed is the best. And there's a whole lot that goes on beyond that, but you will verify after you implement the alternative, you verify that that solution actually worked. And that's how DIGCIV works. Define the problem, identify the root cause, generate alternatives, choose the best alternative, and then you got to implement that alternative and be sure that indeed it works. So what I'm going to do right now is show you a summary of DIGCIV, and I'll give you information that can help you find the book, because the book is everywhere books are sold. So let's have a very quick breakdown of the DIGCIV model. Okay. So, number one, define the problem. What makes you think it's a problem? Bring other people to the conversation. And when I say bring other people to the conversation, I'm talking about team members, those who have a stake in this whole thing. Bring everyone to the table and have a DIGCIV. And a DIGCIV just means following the process from start to end. Sometimes you can run an entire DIGCIV in a day, sometimes in a few hours, and other times you might be able to do it even in 30 minutes. It depends on what the problem is. If it's a mammoth problem, it's going to take longer, right? Then you identify the root cause. Like I showed you, the Ishikawa is a great tool to do that. You generate alternatives using Ed DeBono's thinking hats, 6 thinking hats, or the Empire model, or some other model. After you've generated alternatives through the process of voting, and there are other approaches that I show you in the course, but my buddy Roy and I, we teach you not only how to choose the alternatives, but the facilitation from beginning to end, the philosophies you should have to effectively facilitate. Choose the best alternative, and then you implement the alternative. What happens when you implement it? Well, you got to check and make sure you verify, did this solution work? And if it worked, sustain it. Ensure that you don't go back to the previous state. But if the answer is no, then you're going to do something else, right? So if it's a yes, you get a final solution. And if it's a no, you got to go back to generating the alternatives, go back to the drawing board, and keep asking, what could we do differently that will give us a more lasting result? Okay. This framework is like magic. And there are other, frameworks for problem solving, but this is a lightweight framework. It's a lightweight framework. Are you a CEO, a CIO, a CTO, a VP, a director with people? Maybe you're a manager and you're trying to solve problems in a streamlined fashion with a framework that guides you using awesome tools, techniques, and methods. This is the book you want to get. It makes it so simple. Gone are the days when you'll be in front of an instructor with big old charts and graphs for hours. There's nothing wrong with charts and graphs, but it's not the best solution all the time. Sometimes you need lightweight. This is a lightweight framework that allows you plug and play. There's a reason why I call it a framework, because it allows you to plug and play the tools and the techniques. You might have your own techniques for identifying the root cause, maybe for generating alternatives. There's so many ways. You could choose voting, you could choose dot voting, you could choose maybe the Highsmith decision spectrum that's used in the world of Agile. There's so many ways. So you can bring in your own tools, right? Bring your own tools, but hey, the framework is here. All right. Going down to Amazon, just type in DIGCIV, right? And you'll be able to tap into it. If you want to be in the program that I had some months ago, to actually be in the course with my buddy Roy and I and kind of walk through the whole thing with us as we did, you need to go on down to the website. It's just called leadershipstreet.com. And when you get to Leadership Street, I'm going to show you here in a second. Leadershipstreet.com enables you sign up for the PM360 program, where this was recorded and taught in front of a live audience. And if you are a certified project manager, PMP, whatever you might be, you can also get professional development units for this. So let me show you this. And it might just very well be the thing you need, because problem solving is not taught enough. It's not, unfortunately. And we need to teach people who work with us how to solve problems. So if you scroll down and you go on down to Project Management 360 Conference, click on View Course, and you click on this, you'll be able to see the content. So that's the DIGCIV session on problem solving. It's right there, leadershipstreet.com. Leadershipstreet.com. So this was our first session. You'll also get access to the PM360 conference, which is basics of project management. And that comes free. But the DIGCIV session, the 227-minute one, that one, That's the one you want. Okay. I hope this gave you some hope. Problem solving doesn't need to be rocket science. Define the problem, spend time, let your people brainwrite. Maybe they even brainstorm. It's okay. Identify the root cause, generate alternatives, choose the best one, implement it, and verify. Simple framework, $1 million solutions. Because it's not about the framework alone, it's about the power of the process, of incremental views of a problem, iterative views of a problem. You don't just say, okay, solve the problem. No, you have to do it in a procedural way to get the best results. Okay? Again, DIGCIV, it's available everywhere books are sold. Grab the book and start solving problems like a pro. See you soon, and send me any truth about your results, anything that the DIGCIV has helped you accomplish. I want to know about it. So find me on LinkedIn and just send me a message. I'll be really keen on knowing. Okay. And that's my information. And you find me on LinkedIn. Also, if you go to praizion.com, that's our website. You can also send me messages through there. Take care, my friend, and all the very best.